Good evening, Robert Scribbler. It is September 7th, 2018. Thank you for joining me for another climate change and clean energy video blog. Now for this segment, I am going to introduce you to a number of climate change communicators that I value. I've been doing this on a weekly basis now. I said I was going to do it on Thursday, but it seems like Friday is a better day for it. So here we go. Now, one of the individuals I'd like to talk about is someone who has been I would say, an internet friend, someone that I've communicated with on a number of occasions on the internet about the subject of Arctic sea ice, particularly Arctic sea ice volume, and that is Andy Lee Robinson, who has put together a number of 3D and 2D visualizations of sea ice loss, particularly focusing on sea ice volume. He's also a clean energy advocate and, in my opinion, a pretty sharp analyst. And what he is known most for is his creation of the famous Arctic sea ice death spiral graphic, which you can find at havland.com, and he updates this graphic every month when the new biomass Arctic sea ice volume data comes out. I'd just like to point out how stunning this graphic is as it relates to sea ice volume. It's worth noting that the peak of sea ice volume occurs in April, and the present peak of sea ice volume in 2018 is roughly equivalent to sea ice volume values seen during the months of July and November during 1979. So, and as you can see, for the recent year and during pretty much every year since 2007, 2008, 2009, Arctic sea ice volume overall has been trending considerably lower. So I encourage you to follow Andy on Twitter and keep track of his Arctic sea ice volume graphic analysis, which are very helpful, in my opinion, means of climate communication. Now, the next climate communicator I'd like to introduce you to is Bernadette Woods, who is the Chief Meteorologist and Climate Matters Director at Climate Central. Climate Central provides a good deal of data related to human-caused climate change, in particular climate change fingerprints on extreme weather events, as well as a number of climate change-related trends, specifically related to climate risk factors such as sea level rise, or glacial melt, or sea ice loss, or impacts to growing seasons. Climate Central provides a number of very useful graphical analysis of climate-related trends, and you can find these in the media library at the climatecentral.org website. I encourage you to dig through these, take a look. They are very informative. In addition to the reports and blogs that Climate Central does put out, many of these reports recently have been focusing on to what degree an extreme weather event had a climate change influence. For example, Hurricane Harvey, which Climate Central put out a in my opinion, top-notch report on last year. So I'd like to introduce you to Bernadette, and I encourage you to follow her on Twitter, as well as take a look at the amazing resources provided by Climate Central, as well as a number of climate change, extreme weather, fingerprint communication tools that are provided by this excellent website. Now, the last climate change communicator that I would like to promote to you is Climate State. Climate State, the organizer for Climate State has long been another internet friend of mine, and we have engaged in a number of in-depth discussions on the issue of human-caused climate change in various social media forums. And it's my opinion that this person is very knowledgeable, but it's also worth noting that Climate State puts out very high-quality video exposés of what are, in my opinion, key climate change issues. These can be found on the Climate State YouTube channel, which now has an amazing 22,981 subscribers, of which I am proud to be one. The quality of the presentations produced by Climate State are very high, as well as the informational quality. So I encourage you to take a look at Climate State and follow Climate State on Twitter. Now, as I've said a number of times before, there are a massive number of positive climate voices who, in my opinion, communicate well and responsibly and advocate for climate action in a moral way. And it is my intention to try to introduce them all to you. And these are good sources, and in my opinion, we really need to lift up the good sources and point a finger toward what responsible climate reporting looks like, because it's still, for the most part, an underground endeavor. But there are a number of underground sources or sources that don't typically hit the mainstream that are very valuable and have a high level of expertise and expert knowledge focused as part of their climate communication. So these are a few. I encourage you to take a look at them. I will be providing the links for you. Thank you for joining me. I'll be chatting with you soon.